Disappointing could also be said about Calvin Ridley, Will Levis. A lot of these players, Tyjae Spears, a lot of these Tennessee Titans, they're going to be coming back off of the bye this week. And we saw Will Levis playing terrible again and ended up getting hurt. Mason Rudolph came in and he was mediocre at best. But like they said Will Levis is going to be the starter this week. I don't know how to feel about this, bro, because I wanted to believe it. I thought this Titans offense had like sneaky potential this year. If Will Levis could make just an ounce of development, he hasn't looked the part. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He just hasn't been good. What are the chances that he comes out of this break and looks like a whole new player? Because there's a part of me that still believes that they can get this thing right. There's a part of me that still believes like DeAndre Hopkins getting healthier, and Tyjae Spears was banged up for a little bit, and they had some tough matchups defensively. Like a part of me still believes in this Tennessee Titan thing. Talk me off the ledge, bro, because I feel like I'm about to go all the way in and just believe it once more.
I can't. I don't see it. I just think he is who we think he is. Like he's played games. He has some moments where he's kind of like Justin Fields a little bit, where there's moments where he makes some really good plays, and then there's moments where it's just like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? Like, so the one guy that I feel good about, and like this is a play, like we talked about this, like getting off your takes. Tyjae Spears, like he's a clear backup here. It's Tony Pollard. He's really the only guy I feel good about in this offense, just because running backs are a rare commodity. A lot of times they get hurt at a high rate. So he's somebody that I feel good about, Tony Pollard, because he's honestly looked good too this year. So I don't feel good about Will Levis, though. I was not very high on Calvin Ridley. I will say that. Like, it's just because Will Levis. I think Calvin Ridley's a good player, but it's just when your quarterback's not very good, it has a tough time getting you the ball. It's going to be tough for wide receivers. So, fortunately, yeah.
And we haven't talked a lot about the Tennessee Titans at all. Like, I think this is just a tough team because they're not a good football team. I think, you hear Brian Callahan, Cincinnati, you start thinking like, okay, there's some potential here. It just ain't there. Like they have much more to work on, and the development of Will Levis was really crucial to like Calvin Ridley's value, DeAndre Hopkins' value, just the value of these Tennessee Titans offensive weapons. I don't know, man. Like I like Calvin. I think that he got a bad rap for his season last year where he still had a decent year. It's just the consistency is not going to be there. So is this a buy low opportunity? This is a player that I've seen this player drop. Like I've seen Calvin Ridley be dropped in leagues. I think it's a little harsh, and I think maybe he's more of a flex option than he is the upside receiver that we thought we were getting if things panned out. I think it's just time to realize like he's going to be an inconsistent flex, maybe wide receiver 3 during bye weeks. I don't know if I call it a buy low, but if he's out there on waivers, I wouldn't leave him on waivers coming off of the bye. I think.
Let me ask you this: who are you picking up if he's on waivers, him or Juju?
Ooh, damn, that's a good one, bro. I'm probably going Juju.
And I think that I don't know if you could probably honestly trade Calvin Ridley for Juju, but like I would hold unless there's somebody like really that shouldn't be on waivers. I would pick them up just because like we've kind of seen it with Calvin. Like he already had, I want to say he had a couple good games, right? Or at least that one.
Yeah, the one good game where he had like the reverse for a touchdown.
Yeah, like so and like you said, I mean, maybe you hope that because it's oof. Looking at the stats, yeah, it's
bad.
It's bad.
I mean, he's not even getting like his high is 7 targets.
Yeah, like that's
just high.
Oof.
It's just bad, man. But like he's too good in my opinion.
He gets Indy this week.
And I mean they play in the same division. They play Jacksonville's giving up like the most points to receivers on the year so far. Like they played a good division for like shootouts, the Texans. Like I'm sure those matchups are coming. He played against like Chicago and the Jets, and like there's been some stuff. But like I'm the concern is Will Levis. It's not Calvin Ridley. It's not like I don't think Calvin Ridley's good. It's like Will Levis just hasn't improved. And I think we were all expecting like this jump at least from him. It's not there. Like I have a very hard time trusting in. I think he'll be inconsistent. But when you talk about a guy like Juju, the only reason I say maybe him over Calvin is because I think we're going to get more consistency out of Juju than we will.
And I think personally, just the upside's better. Just because you're playing with Patrick Mahomes, like if he ends up being the number 1 target for Patrick Mahomes, I mean, like you said, wide receiver 3. I mean, that might even be too low. Like he could be a wide receiver 2 for the rest of the year if he ends up
I
being
will
the
say
number 2
this.
target.
I'm just looking at this now. Minnesota in week 11 has given up the ass to wide receivers. We just saw it with Garrett Wilson. Week 12, you got Houston, who's been mediocre. You got Washington in week 13, Jacksonville in week 14, Cincinnati in week 15, Indy in week 16, Jacksonville in 17. That's a really nice slate. If they can get this thing figured out, you might be disappointed in Calvin Ridley now, but like that's why I don't want to completely just give up on Calvin Ridley, man. It's a hard thing, man. I keep kind of trying to talk myself off the damn ledge with him, man.
Do you think it'd be better if Mason Rudolph started? I don't even know if the team, like if I'm the Titans, I just don't even like why do that? Like if Will Levis is bad, that's fine. You just get a better draft pick and you already know, and it's like, all right, we're gonna move on with the quarterback. Like this season should be a wash regardless. You shouldn't be looking to try to win.
I'm gonna be honest, like if I was the Tennessee Titans, I would have made an aggressive move over this bye to go get Jameis if he was available, Russell Wilson if he was available. Like put some calls in because I don't think this team the defense is good. I want to say they're like top 10 ranked defense. Like they have good defensive pieces on here. Jerry Sneed, Jefferson, like this team is a good defensive team. And it's just like literally it's the offense. That's the problem with this team. It's really not anything else but it's Will Levis. Will Levis is the fucking problem. Like why in either he has to get it right and he turns it around, or like you're hinging this season on his play. And it's terrible right now. He has to be, if they're believing in him, like the thought in my head is like, if they believe in him still, it has to be better, right? Like it has to be. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Maybe it's blind delusion. I don't fucking know.
I mean, it has to be better. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I wouldn't be actively pursuing Calvin Ridley, and maybe this ends up, next week, maybe he has a blow up game and we're looking at it completely differently. It's just like me personally, I just never believed in Will Levis. So I'm out, but hey, maybe he's able to turn stuff around. I hope so.